So we have Jorge's 240 in the shop. We've been having an issue with it grinding 5th gear. So whoever, I don't remember what brand short throw shifter this is, but it's a CD009 trans, and what would happen is the clearance in the short throw was too tight, so when the trans got hot, it would actually start to become stiff to shift and kind of lock you out all the gears. It eventually led to him, you know, grinding 5th gear because he was having a hard time finding the gears. So unfortunately, by the time he brought it to us to get fixed, it was too late and 5th gear had already been crunched up pretty good. So even after we clearanced the short throw shifter and it shifts fine in all gears, 5th gear is, you know, permanently grinding. So at the last World Racing event, you know, he goes to shift 5th gear and it grinds, and he pretty much just loses the, you know, last quarter of his pass. So we got a brand new OEM Nissan CD009 trans that we're gonna swap it out with and put a new clutch in it as well, and we should be good to go. All right, so we have the LOJ conversions, RB/KA to CD009 transmission adapter kit. We pulled off the old kit and decided to go with the LOJ. We were having some issues with the old kit. The old kit didn't line up very well, and we were having some problems with the input shaft rattling because the transmission wasn't centered to the engine properly. So we have that paired with CLUTCHMASTERS FX400 single disc clutch and a brand new OEM CD009 transmission for smooth gear shifting and taking some power. So I'm excited to see how this kit works. and seeing the results.
This is what people don't see. You're just following over onto the camera all along.
Transferring the whole fork and throw bearing and everything. Alright.
Oh.
Mint, son. All right, so today we have Jorge's car on the dyno. It's a stock bottom end RB25. He's probably had this car together for the better half of like 10 years now. This car has been at multiple power levels throughout that time period. And for the past 3 to 4 years, we've been doing north of 600 at the wheels, and he's been racing it at the Slipstream roll racing events every year. So we did a couple minor changes, nothing, really big. We did put a brand new CD009 transmission, as the previous one had issues with fifth gear grinding. So we got a brand new transmission, a couple other minor things around that, and we're gonna get it back on the dyno to touch up on the tune and set up the no lift shift and see if we can squeeze any more out of it possibly. But yeah, we look forward to racing this thing this year again and keeping this stock bottom end moving along. So here's where we're gonna kind of call it quits. We're starting to experience some valve float. This thing is still on stock valve springs. Usually once you start creeping above 550 wheel, depending on how much boost pressure you're running to achieve that and what kind of RPMs you're turning, is usually when I start to see them float the valves. So it's got a PRP R35 coil pack setup, and so you can see where it has a couple of small hiccups here where it's not so smooth, indicative of like a misfire from a valve floating or being hung open. But pretty much, so stock bottom end RB25, we'll have to, of course, turn it down just a hair to smooth this out. But yeah, I mean, they take the power, they'll make the power, and we've been running this car like this for probably 3 or 4 years hard nonstop. So I mean,